guys, this is Nadya and Andreeva from spinachandyoga.com, and this is a series of Happy Belly interviews to celebrate the launch of my book, Happy Belly, Women's Guide to Feeling Vibrant, Light, and Balanced. And today I have a really interesting interview coming to you. The interview is with the founders of SoulKu. It's a healing jewelry business and really amazing inspirational cards. It's been founded, it's a brainchild of Alison Blake and Elisa Van Arnhem, two book club friends, wives, and mummies. And they're determined to make a difference in the world and looking for an outlet to absorb some of the newly found leftover energy. Not a lot of us have that leftover energy, so we'll definitely have to figure out how that happened. And some time, and they put it into creating a globally inspired healing jewelry, right?
Right.
Did I miss anything?
No, you got it.
Okay. So I think your business is such an inspiration, and everything that you create is so beautiful. Like your soul actually comes through your creations, and I just browsed through your website. And the website, guys, is going to be right below the video if you want to browse through it too. So we're going to talk about digestion, but I also want to bring in that inspiration piece because I think a lot of us are missing out on it. But before we get to it, what is a happy belly for you?
You want to go? Yes. A happy belly for me is just knowing that I am listening to what my body is saying to me each day, really paying attention if something is not going right and not getting stressed out and overly concerned at the first sight of something not going well. But just knowing that I'm feeling well, I'm feeling good, and can go about my day and enjoy all of the gifts and, beautiful things that are happening, whether it's at work, whether it's with my family, whether it's with me, and just that happy belly state for me, that I'm enjoying food and it is giving me all the benefits that I need.
And I would say for me, a happy belly is, I tend to be an emotional eater. And so for me, it's being conscious of like, if something stressful just happened, not reaching for, the bag of potato chips or, just doing something that's not like a carb hug for me, really being conscious of what I'm putting into my body and recognizing that if I am, eating for comfort, chances are that's not going to be the catalyst for me feeling better.
Yeah. And I think, thank you for actually stepping out and recognizing that you're an emotional eater, because I think a lot of us, actually the research shows that over 90% of people emotionally eat. It's just some people know how to balance it out and some people get into this guilt and shame state.
Right. And just for me, it's just really recognizing that. And then, because my times tend to be from like 8 to 9, where I will be like, oh, this day was so stressful, and I'll eat something that I don't need to eat. When I don't do that and I'm conscious of it and I say, no, that's not right, and I go to bed, and then I feel well going to sleep, and I know that the next day I'm going to feel well as well. So, just kind of keeping myself in check for me is a happy belly.
Yeah, and I think one of the main things that somebody can do to wake up with feeling lots of energy is not to overeat at night.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes. Huge one.
Huge.
Okay, so let's get a little bit more specific. What do you do day to day in terms of your daily activities, your foods that make your belly happy?
For me, what really helps me is getting exercise in the morning, taking a nice walk, being able to breathe outside, connecting to nature. And then really for me, it's just the overeating component. I in general will reach for healthy stuff, make good smoothies, do a lot of gluten-free stuff. It's being conscious of what I'm putting into my body and the exercise that I'm getting, and that really helps me to balance.
Mm-hmm.
For me, one of the biggest changes that I have implemented through a homeopathic doctor is it's my morning cocktail, which is warm lemon water with cayenne pepper. And I drink that every morning and try to wait 20 minutes before I drink or eat anything else, which is like this natural little detox that I'm able to do every morning. And it's, for me and my routine and my schedule, it's really easy. So that has been a huge part of my happy belly every day, I think. And I'm on board with the exercise. I am just a happier person. My digestion is always on key, and I don't know how personal we're getting, but
getting personal all the way.
All my bowel movements, everything just works really well when I'm actively exercising. So that's a huge piece. I do gravitate towards healthy food. I love greens, are my biggest go-to, and I could eat that all day long. And when I do, I'm super, super happy. And I have been very fortunate to be one of those people that tries to stop eating around 6 or 7 o'clock at night and give myself that full 12 hours of fasting. That's been just awesome for my body.
I'm with you on at least 12 hours because it makes it so much easier for the body to be ready to accept food the next day.
Yes.
And I think it's not that you're lucky to want to stop at 6. It actually takes commitment, because in a society where a 7:30, 8:30 p.m. dinner is acceptable, it takes courage to honor what feels best in your body, not what's accepted in a society.
It's a good point, especially with children and activities.
Right.
That has become, we have to eat at 4:30 or 5 o'clock at night sometimes, as opposed to eating after their activities. And that's been a huge, you're right, that's been a choice that I've had to make with our family.
And I so honor you for that, because it's an incredible commitment. So let's talk about some things that make your belly unhappy.
For me, always alcohol, wine, beer, never ever made my belly happy. And stress, really, I remember in my late teens and through my 20s, that I would just always feel like I had just cramps in my stomach. And that, and it wasn't until I got older and they kind of went away, and then when they would just come back every once in a while, that I recognized that, boy, that was going on for a long time. And I think it was just, a reaction to stress.
Yeah, and I think we underestimate how much stress affects digestion, because actually during stressful times, your body cannot digest anything. Anything at all, because there's not enough acid that's being produced. Usually the peristalsis stops working, and it's just, there's parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, and when we're stressed, it's just not the right system on to be digesting food. So your notice is 100% correct.
Right. So if you're in fight or flight, the last thing your body is thinking about is digestion. Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Digestion and sex. So a woman who is constantly stressed, not going to want to have sex either.
Absolutely.
No digestion and no sex. Okay. Got that.
For me, it's my menstrual cycle. That's when I have an unhappy belly. At the very beginning, usually the first day of my menstrual cycle, and I'm aware of it. I haven't really found exactly what I have not figured out what my magic secret is on that day. Maybe your book will help me.
Let's do a mini consultation. Tell me what's happening.
It's not painful, but I have a couple of bouts of diarrhea, just very liquid, you know, and it goes away. It goes away very quickly after the first day.
Yeah, and I think it's normal, but basically what happens is when we have our period, it's lots of downward flowing energy.
Right.
So the body has to kind of empty out. And along with that downward flowing energy, there can be loose stool.
Right.
So that's kind of almost a normal thing. But what you can do is on those days have slightly, not foods that would cause constipation, but foods that kind of create a little bit more binding. So you can have
Banana.
A little bit of rice. Like rice usually helps. It can be some other grains, but basically something that's easy to digest, but has a little bit of a drier quality to it.
Okay.
And that usually helps. Another thing that you can do is throughout the day, have some fennel coriander tea. Just buy some fennel seeds and coriander seeds. And it's not that it's gonna stop diarrhea, but it's gonna be very soothing for the digestion. So it's more like just a gentle way to soothe the stomach that's irritated.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah, and there are definitely more recipes in the book.
Okay. Good.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the inspiration and the energy piece. So looking at your bio saying that a woman with kids has extra energy left over, it just seems like such an unbelievable thing. Because a lot of moms, they give, and they feel completely depleted. What do you think helped you to have that surplus of energy and inspiration?
Yeah.
Well, I think for us, for both of us, really the tagline on that is, that our kids she has 2 kids, I have 2 kids, and they were all starting school. And so the time that we had, from 8:00 in the morning until 3:00 in the afternoon was suddenly open, where it had been filled to the brim with activities for years and years and years and years. And I think both of us were wanting to do something with that energy, besides just the managing of our households and the, all of the things that come along with being a wife and a mother. We wanted to do something positive with the energy, with the time that we had, and not only do something positive with it, but in a sense, create more energy, more inspiration, more creativity. And so, yeah, we just started thinking and knew that we wanted to do something that would encourage creativity, that would encourage inspiration, that would breed inspiration, and that would help people to connect to each other, which, in a roundabout way, I think goes back to a happy belly, a happy body, a happy soul, a happy life. If you are using the energy that you have towards creativity, towards inspiration, towards connection, you are increasing it, exponentially, and not just yourself.
Energy feeds energy, right?
Yes,
but and I also want to highlight the fact that it's almost impossible to have good energy if your digestion is not healthy.
Exactly. Right. Absolutely. Yeah. And really the idea that if your body is not, if your digestion isn't where it should be, your body isn't where it should be health-wise, you're not going to be flowing with ideas. You're not going to be flowing with creativity. The energy is sort of sucked from your body because it's busy doing all this other healing work. And, right, keeping your digestion clean and your energy up is putting your body temple in the optimum place to be able to be creative and inspirational.
Yeah, 100%. What gets you feeling the most inspired?
Oh, wow.
Oh, so many things.
So many things.
Our families, I think, are a huge part of our inspiration. Our children, our husband's support of believing in this company and our crazy ideas to just go out and go for it is a huge, huge piece. And I think Elisa touched on it. It's interesting that we both feel so strongly about this, but nature. As much as I love yoga and would love to be in a more consistent practice. Mm-hmm. If I have the morning, I grab my dog and we are hitting the trails. And we live in beautiful Asheville, North Carolina. We're surrounded by mountains and
beauty.
We can escape in 10 minutes and be out in the middle of nowhere. And that's where I connect to God. That's where I am wide open for insight and inspiration.
Yeah, I think our spiritual connection too, individually and between the two of us, plays a big part in our inspiration, and a lot of it comes from, I will go on a walk and I'll call Allison and I'll be like, I know exactly what we should do now, or she'll go on a hike and she'll call me and be like, this is what, it's like, it gives us time to think and to be receiving all this great oxygen and the plant life and the woods and the trees and just sort of feeding off of that. And then that just puts us in such a great state. I'm not remembering the hormone that gets released when you exercise, but
endorphin.
Yeah, the endorphin, just the natural endorphins. And I find too, when I am in a bad place, if I go out and take a hike for 20 minutes, even 20 minutes, it shifts everything.
And I think too, I just have to add in, women are a huge piece of our inspiration, our motivation for what we do. Mm-hmm. Wanting women to feel beautiful from the inside out, mm-hmm. knowing that there is this illumination that's inside each one of us. And we don't make jewelry yet for men. We're not trying to be exclusive and exclude men in any way. We've just so far started.
This is what we know.
This is what we know. But we, when we're creating and we're making our jewelry and we're praying over the gems that we're working with, it is, at the end of it, we are seeing those women and we're seeing them put their, our jewelry on and knowing that they are just feeling from the depths of their soul that they are beautiful, powerful, important, all of those, qualities. So,
yeah, I love it. Totally love it. Makes me want to buy all your jewelry and cover myself. So, what if, and I think a lot of women they really crave that feeling of inspiration and crave that feeling of being connected to a larger goal.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that's exactly what pulls them out of the rut of whether it's emotional eating or not treating their body right. Because once you have that bigger goal or purpose or vision, you kind of know why you're doing it, and it makes it so much easier to stick to it. Mm-hmm. What would you say to women who don't have that vision, who don't have the inspiration? Where to find it or how to find it?
I say start where you are. Don't try to go so big so fast. And so for me, in learning, I've always been a prayer. I've always prayed, but I've not always meditated. And for me, the time of meditation is the quiet time and the listening time. So When I'm praying, I'm asking. When I'm meditating, I'm listening and receiving. And I have found that it's only 5 minutes. It doesn't take long. People think it's this very long commitment, and it just feels so big and so out there, like just so hard to reach. And I say, start where you are and start small. But pray. Definitely pray.
And for me, I think I agree. I agree with Allison, and I want to add just gratitude. Gratitude is such a huge piece, I think, of being conscious of what's around you, being conscious of what gifts you have received. We tend to focus on the one thing that didn't go right, as opposed to the 9 things that are just fantastic. And I think that connecting, breathing through your heart and connecting, truly imagining, like, what am I so grateful for? What memory do I have, or what thing do I have? What relationship do I have? What smile that somebody gave me at the store that I don't know, that, like, can I remember that and shift? And I think that gratitude, anchoring in gratitude into your life, is just, it's so easy. It's just so easy. And,
Powerful.
So powerful. So powerful. And I would go as far as to say it doesn't even take 5 minutes. Right. Like, that's the 1 minute solution. And for us as busy moms, as we are wives, we are running a business, and we're driving our kids all over everywhere and picking them up and dropping them off and overseeing and packing the lunches and buying the food and all that sort of stuff. I think there's this myth out there that, like, you have to go to the mountain and sit by yourself for years and, like, meet with your guru and in order to become a spiritual person. And I think literally it is as easy as wake up in the morning, be grateful for 1 thing, 2 things. Maybe the next day it'll be 3 things, or you'll remember at lunchtime, oh, I'm grateful for that. And you can shift your consciousness. You can shift it so big. And I think those shifts open you up for all kinds of stuff that you would pass by ordinarily if you weren't looking for gratitude.
Right, it's all about the perception.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your story and your wisdom. If women want to find your jewelry and to have this healing jewelry on their body, where can they find you?
We are at www.soulku, SOULKU.com. And there's a list of stores there, and you can buy on our website.
Yeah.
Cool. And we're definitely going to put the link to the website right below the video.
Awesome.
So guys, make sure to get your Happy Belly guide, and also sign up so you can watch all other incredible interviews. And if you have any comments, please post them below. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Nadya.